Spoiler warning, by the way. Springtrap, the Marionette, and Michael Afton. Those are the villains that we are left with at the end of the FNAF 2 movie. But what if I told you there was a fourth villain introduced? I'm not only going to provide enough evidence to support my theory, but also tie this villain into the FNAF lore as a whole, which could help explain the game lore. First, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment after the video to let me know your thoughts on this theory. I hope you enjoy. To begin, we all watched the FNAF 2 movie, and were left with many questions. I personally have many questions, like for example, why is Michael super evil? Why is there a baby with green eyes? I don't know, nothing's answered. But those questions, which obviously have to have answers, all lead, in my opinion, to a secret villain of the FNAF 2 movie. And it's this kid right here. For the sake of this video, I'm going to call him David. I'll explain why later. But first, we see him introduced on the bus with Abby as she is talking to her classmates about the incidents of the first movie. Basically the recap for the viewers. The other kids on the bus are not attentive to what Abby is saying, but David is. After the bus ride, he says, "I believe in UFOs and ghosts." This is our villain's first attempt at breaking Abby's brain so that he can manipulate her. He also invites Abby to sit with him at lunch, which is another smart method used by him to coax her into doing his bidding. Once they are in class, David says the most evil line of the whole movie. Ready for it? The catalyst of every following event per se. And that line is, "I'm surprised you haven't tried to fix your friends yourself. I bet you could." End quote. This line right here is the most important line in the movie because David says this. He causes Abby to go back to the pizzeria where Mike gives her the Faz talker. That scene was supposed to be funny with the horror, but that was a distraction because now the marionette, Charlie, is able to talk to Abby and coax her into going to the FNAF 2 pizzeria and unlocking the perimeter lock, which of course allows Charlotte to begin her reign of terror on the town. David's persuasive words, let me remind you, towards Abby were intentional. They were what caused the whole movie to happen. Let me explain why. You may be wondering why I'm even looking into this seemingly random character this much. It is because I really believe that he is important to not just the movie's lore, but the FNAF lore as a whole. I call him David in the first place because I believe that he is David Afton. Yep, there it is, another son that is being kept secret by Vanessa and Michael, and I have a good reason to support this. Because I do not believe that David is a normal boy. I believe that he's a robot. Kind of like Robot Gregory, I believe that David in this movie is also a robot. Just like the game lore, I believe that Michael got his brother killed in the bite of 83. It makes sense. That is one of the most fundamental parts of the FNAF lore, so it has to happen in the movie universe, you know? And because William didn't fulfill his promise, or we don't know if he did in the games where he said, "I will put you back together," I believe that to simplify the movie lore, William Afton did put his son back together. He did fulfill his promise. I believe that David Afton is the last resort of William and Michael and the Afton family's evil plan because he rebuilt his son and he knew that one day he might not be around. Same with Michael. He doesn't know what Michael will do. Or Vanessa. They don't know what they're going to do. So I believe that he was deployed to free Charlie and bring Vanessa back to the Afton family and then reunite the Afton family. At the end of the movie, the animatronics all go to Mike and Abby's house. The puppet was just put to sleep, and who comes out after all of this in this scene? It's Michael Afton. What he does is he reveals that he's actually Vanessa's brother and William's son, which leads me to believe that Michael can control the animatronics as well, but not by himself. I think he's working with the marionette / Charlie because we are told that she's the only one that can control them. So it just makes sense that he is working with her. So far, everything's going according to plan. This helps support the game lore because it is Scott's way of showing us that the robot Gregory/David is still out there and doing Afton's bidding, even after everyone's souls were freed in FNAF 6. The reason the FNAF games are going back to the roots, like when Edwin was introduced in Secret of the Mimic, is because they're trying to answer lore plot holes, which I believe will eventually lead them to revealing that David Afton is alive, because we see Robot Gregory. I believe that's kind of like an allegory, hint that Robot David, Robot Afton is alive, could even be Gregory, and the true successor and villain of the FNAF series. If you guys don't like my theory, please comment your thoughts and we can have civil discussions about this in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. Goodbye.